Okay, we're recording. So welcome everyone. I'm so glad you took time out of your evening to join me here. And I want to do this because the oils are very important to me. And I'm going to start by telling you my story about the oils. So it goes back, and I just found out, I've been saying that I've been doing this for 18 years. And today I went in and I checked on my Young Living page, and I signed up in March of 2000, which means it's 18 years this month. So that's how long I've been using the oils. And the way I got started was I lived in a small town called Media, and I was walking one of my Dobermans, and a new neighbor had just moved in. She's a chiropractor. Her name is Dr. Lily Mancy, and she's on the call with us tonight. And I was walking down the street, and for some reason, I don't know why, I asked her if she knew Reiki. Turns out she's a Reiki master, and she offered me a session with her to learn about Reiki. I did eventually study under her and became a Reiki master as well. But during the course of me getting to know her, Lily was involved with Young Living essential oils. And that's where I got my start. And that's where, excuse me, my love for the oils began. I like to think of them as, I often say, it's my first line of defense. It's what I think of if I have a sore throat, or my muscle aches or muscle cramps, or I need to clean the house, or I get spots on my shirt, or there's pet odors in the house, or something needs to be cleaned, or I need to relax or perk myself up or be spiritually enthused. I think of what oil can I use for that. So I hope to share with you a little bit about the oils, and that you may want to learn more about them. If you know about the oils now, we're here to keep educating ourselves. I will help educate you, and I hope you will educate me. So we'll try to learn from one another. So I don't know if anyone else has joined, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen now. And with that, I'm going to put on a PowerPoint presentation. And please tell me once it's open if you all can see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just on the phone.
You're on the phone. So just so you'll know, it's, we're talking about eliminating the toxins in your home and using essential oils to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd just like to start also with a medical disclaimer. So this information presented here is for informational and personal uses only and should not be assumed taken as medical advice. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration and are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. That's if we get off on talking about different ways of using the oils. So this is about cleaning products as damaging as smoking 20 cigarettes a day. Scientists at the University of Bergen in Norway led an international team of researchers on a mission to explore health risks associated with a very common task, and that's house cleaning. While the harms of chemical exposures are well known to science, little research has been done on the effects of repeated use of common household cleaners, such as those used by millions of people every day when cleaning their home or their offices. These findings illustrate the unknowing risks we take with common chemicals, whose use has become so ubiquitous with clean, we don't question the safety of its occasional use. But what we might consider occasional could be more than enough to do lasting harm to the body. The study released in February of 2018 investigated the long-term effects of cleaning with commercial products on lung function and airway obstruction. Numerous prior studies have linked inhalation of cleaning products with increased risk of asthma, prompting researchers to question the impact to average people. from conducting routine cleaning defined as more than one time per week, either at home or at the workplace. This research was just recently published in the American Thoracic Society's American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine. What they did was they tracked 6,230 middle-aged men and women over the course of 20 years. The findings are alarming for what they show. And unexpectedly, they happen to be gender specific. And I'm not sure if that's just because women may clean more than men, but women who cleaned
Definitely.
once per week, whether at home or occupationally, suffered significantly more decline in overall lung function as compared to women who did not clean. Now, I don't know how many don't clean at all, but this decrease in lung capacity was made worse by using sprays and other cleaning agents at least one time per week. So the research were able to summarize that the extent of measured damage for women who cleaned was equivalent to smoking a pack of cigarettes every day for 20 years. Now, I don't know if you're aware of smoking a pack for 20 years. That's one of the things they look at when looking at, COPD and lung cancer, and that's a tremendous indicator of that.
So, Vicki, are you going to cover, rather than just, indicting all of them, although maybe they all need to be indicted, in terms of the products? I mean, is there a common chemicals, in them that are this harmful?
There are some common ones that are harmful, but I put back the slide where they use 84,000 chemicals in household items. Wow. And the number that have been tested by the FDA are 200, so there's many that have never been tested. There's only 5 regulated, and they haven't really updated the laws since 1976. There are some that are worse than others, and I'm going to mention later on, you can always, for any product, go to the Environmental Working Group, EWG. They have a website. You can write in the name of the product, and if they've tested it, they can tell you what's in it.
Well, it doesn't sound like they've tested a lot, though, so.
Well, no, the EWG has. I mean, it's the FDA. Okay. The FDA is.
Okay. And that stands for Environmental
Working Group.
Working Group. Okay, thank you.
And in my longer lecture, I go into individual chemicals that are dangerous. But I really wasn't planning on doing that tonight. That gets to be like an hour presentation.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. So the good news here is you don't really need to use the chemical cleaners. I'm showing some products there. So Windex has it, OxyClean has it, Glade, Febreze, and we talk about Febreze a little bit later. So I'm saying that what I use is the Thieves Household Cleaner, and it's one product, and I replace all of these products with it. So it's the only cleaning product that I use. So I use it for my kitchens, for my bathrooms. I wash floors with it, walls, woodwork. I clean the carpets. I add it to the laundry, basically everything. And I use it also if there's pet accidents in the house, works wonders. You can also create your own natural products by using essential oils and boosting that to clean other things, such as you can add it to baking soda and white vinegar and lemon and Castile soap and coconut oil. So there's options. We don't have to have these chemicals in our houses all the time and be inhaling them and causing damage. So I'm just talking basically basing it on the study that was just done and on how it's affecting lungs and lung capacity. But these chemicals have other impacts on our bodies as well. There can be hormone disruptors, carcinogens are in them. So it's something I just want you to be aware of and to think about and to then do some research. And if you want to do the full lecture, I'm happy to do that. We'll set that up. So are there any questions basically about this? I just wanted to show you, sometimes people say, oh, but the cleaners are expensive. So here's a breakdown that shows how it can really be cost effective. So if you look at the 32 ounces of, let's say, the Clorox cleanup or 7th generation, the cost per ounce comes out to be, for Clorox, 13 cents an ounce, for 7th generation, 27 cents an ounce. Now the Thieves Cleaner comes in a small bottle, but you dilute it, you make a 1 to 30 dilution, and that comes out to 5 cents an ounce.
And Vicki, something like, because, I've been experimenting with trying to get like greener products. So like 7th generation, I haven't used that yet, but I mean, would you, I know that you prefer the Thieves, but in terms of making other choices, would you like, if some of the green products?
You have to be very careful with some of the green products. 7th generation often uses things that are not acceptable.
Okay.
So it's again, reading the label.
Okay.
And I would check them out on EWG, or we can certainly have a conversation about it as well.
Okay.
So some things that you think are really good may not be. So I think we as the consumer has to be educated and to learn and to be aware of what's in the products.
Thanks. Okay.
Sure. So any other questions about cleaning and the cleaning products that we're using?
When you dilute Thieves, does it matter if it's warm or cold water?
It doesn't matter. I usually just use, regular room temperature water, but you could warm it up if you wanted to, like wash your floors with warm water. And I use it right on wood floors. There's no problem in doing that. I keep it in a spray bottle, and I can just, spray small areas and clean up things as they happen, clean up the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah. Alan, have you ever used Thieves? I know you've used some other products. I mean, you use Thieves for other things, but did you ever try the cleaner?
No, I haven't really diluted it and made it into a cleaner. I used it as a mosquito repellent in Jamaica a lot. It really worked. The
household cleaner or Thieves?
Oh, no, just Thieves.
Yes.
Yeah,
no.
just diluted Thieves and sprayed it around.
Right. That will work. It's interesting that it works so well in Jamaica with the, hardier bugs and flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I often use purification, and because that has some citronella in it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I just want to, now we're going to move on and talk a little bit about air fresheners. So millions are unwittingly being exposed to air fresheners laced with toxic synthetic chemicals. This is an article, the other information came out as well from Green Med Info. And I have a picture, Alan, of Febreze with a, a red line through it, because Febreze is really awful, what I can say. So, so we're being exposed to air fresheners more and more in our world. It's almost like we've gotten used to fake cover-ups, and we sort of feel that no matter what the world looks like or what a car smells like, we can create an illusion that it's okay. So what's in them are called VOCs, or volatile organic compounds. And I have a slide showing, cigarette smoke and all these cleaning products and paint. So I recently painted my bedroom, and I searched and made sure I bought no VOC paint. So you can find those things, just to keep them out of the room while it was being painted and for days after.
What does it stand for again? Volatile?
Volatile organic compounds.
Okay.
So, many people are connecting the dots and recognizing that air fresheners give them headaches, itchiness, and coughs. Has anyone ever had a reaction of walking into, let's say, a candle shop with the scents, or a furniture store?
I have that in Bed Bath & Beyond. I can only spend a minute there, and I start getting actually the tightness in my throat and a little bit of a headache.
Right. Yeah, I find the same thing. I can't walk into shops that have scents and smells and things in the air. It just impacts me, and I can feel it in my throat. So it's not easy to find an answer to this question. Generally, air fresheners are made of the volatile organic compounds, which are synthetic chemicals that can float through the air. So like there's Febreze, I didn't even know this, car vent clips that people put into their car so that they make their car smell better. It says they have odor blockers, odor eliminators, and fragrance. So, but they don't really tell you what's in it. And anything that says fragrance, unless it's followed by a statement that, you know, like it's an organic or pure essential oil or something else that's a natural product, if it just says fragrance, it means it has phthalates in it, and phthalates are hormone disruptors. So just be aware when you see that on a label. So some of the things that for the odor blockers, the odor eliminators and such, there's benzene and there's styrene in them. And these are all really hazardous to your health. They did here's another study, a large study that analyzed 74 popular air fresheners, found that they contain over 250 chemicals and allergenic VOCs. I'll leave it here. So in those, they found the benzene, they found formaldehyde, and we know what formaldehyde is used for, styrene, and again, the phthalates. And many of these VOCs are known carcinogens that can damage your health and the health of your children and future children. They can harm your skin, your lungs, your hormones, and your fertility. So unfortunately, most air fresheners will not list these ingredients. One way to learn, and again, here's what I'm going to mention about the Environmental Working Group, is to go there, check their listings of the products, and see what their ingredients are. And they sort of mention a safe level, what's not a safe level, how dangerous it can be. So it's a really good website. Lily, you use it, don't you?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. And to get on their mailing list, because they post a lot of like the most current, you know, legislation. Like they were the first to publish about California having the right to know laws. So they're very like action oriented, and their groups really get things done.
Okay, thank you, Lily.
Yeah.
So now we're finding that, I'm not sure how true it is, but automobile emissions are somewhat declining, but the contributions to the air pollution from household products is rising. So we're counterbalancing it with something new. And they're estimating that 50% of the volatile organic compounds are in air pollution. So once those VOCs migrate outside your home, they react with nitrogen oxides and heat, transforming it into ozone. And when exposed to sunlight, those VOCs transform into fine particulate matter, and you're inhaling that fine particulate matter. Wow. So here's the safe alternatives that we use in this house. I'm happy to say this is a green home as far as cleaning and the smells we have. We would never use like an air freshener or Febreze. So there's other things you can use. So in my office and around this house, we diffuse essential oils. There's a picture of a diffuser. So those essential oils and the diffusing, it enhances both the scent of the space, so it makes it smell good, but also the experience of being in it. So the experience can be, you want it to smell fresh, or you want it to perk up your energy, or you want to relax and meditate. So you can bring it down with something that's much more relaxing and work on your emotions. So they have lots of different ways. So here's just showing a few that are nice to diffuse: thieves, purification, the citrus fresh, lavender, lemon, pepper. And they all can provide something different for the environment and for your room. So I wanted to bring this to you, and my request of you is to think carefully about the products you use and to replace them with essential oils and cleaning products that do no harm. So any questions about VOCs or about anything else we've talked about so far?
Vicki, And I
Yes.
don't know, are you done with your presentation?
I'm going to end it right now. And I am just going to, wait, give me a second. So everyone, this is a new experience for me. This is the first time I've used this. And here we go. We're going to get rid of it. I'm going to stop sharing. And there we are. We're back.
Good.
Well done.
Very good, Vic. Really good.
Nice, Vicki. Thanks, Irma.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Vicki, Joan, before you go, since Lily is on the phone, I was wondering if it was appropriate to ask that question about the thieves, having the thieves diffused in the room for Ken, what we were talking about. Does that get into that?
Sure. Yeah.
Joan, does that interest you?
Yeah, of course it does.
So Lily, you had some insights about that as far as when they were using it to remove mold from locations.
Right.
But he was specifically asking about whether or not it sort of binds to any pollution in the air and then removes it. Is that right, Joan? Was that his question?
Oh, that I don't remember. What I recall is that we had talked about, that it might be nice to have the diffuser because, for all to clean the air and all those other things that Vicki has just talked about. But then we were concerned that is that going to have any kind of irritants on his lungs?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I remember.
Right.
But you could remember something differently or.
That's right. Yes. Okay. All right. So
do you have concerns about that, Lily?
So, the thing about absolutely it binds to what's in the air, pollutants that are in the air, and destroys them. And that's the big difference between essential oils and cover up Febrezes and sprays and stuff like that, which just covers over, doesn't actually purify the air. But the essential oils have that ability to bind and destroy the microorganisms, so it really cleans up the environment. But the thing about the lungs, the only thing with thieves is that it does have some oils in it that are described as hot, like cinnamon and clove. So, and it just means you wouldn't want to be diffusing thieves and close the door and lock yourself in a room with it. A better way to use thieves, in my opinion, is to, if you want to do that, close the door when you're not in the room and just have a segment of time when you're just going to be purifying the environment in there. Diffuse your thieves, close the door, and leave the room. And then after some time, you can come back in, but I wouldn't stay in there without there being any other ventilation. And so that's my only concern about diffusing thieves. But as far as it doing the job that it needs to do, it absolutely, that's the one if you really want to clean up the air and, destroy all the microorganisms and things that linger in places and substances that we might not even think about, in that way.
How often, Lily, would you then, if we used it as an air purifier,
right?
How often would you recommend doing something like that, diffusing?
It depends on what the situation is in your home, and I mean, you might want to, be a little more aggressive with it at first, but certainly, not on an ongoing basis. And I think that you probably will become sensitive. Once you start getting the air cleaned up, I think you're going to become more sensitive to what that feels like in comparison to, not.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't, maybe initially you want to do it.
We lost you.
So just another, and I was going to ask Lily if she thought that if purification would be a good idea too.
I thought that's what we're talking about.
I thought you were talking about thieves, no?
Oh, no. Yeah, we were talking about these, but for the purpose of purification,
Purification is another one that would clear the air and isn't as hot. but I don't know, maybe Lily will sign back in and she can finish her thoughts. So, well, before that happens, hoping that Lily does come back, I just want to mention to everyone that I'm going to be starting a private Facebook group, and I will invite everyone who's in, who has purchased oils from me, from Young Living, under me, and, or through me. So that will be coming out in an email shortly. And then that'll be a way for us to communicate. Questions can be asked. We can all learn from one another. I will post interesting articles and information that I think I'd like to share with you. And I think we can grow as a community. So that will be coming out next week sometime. And I plan to have the next call in 2 weeks, which will be on March 29th at the same time, 7 to 7:30. And if anyone after this call is interested in learning more about purchasing the oils and becoming part of this family, please reach out to me. You can email me or give me a call, whatever, and I'm happy to talk to you about that and how we do that.
Great.
So I don't know what happened to Lily.
Okay.
So Joan, but Lily made great points about using the thieves and taking care and doing that. But I think purification is another possibility. But do you have a diffuser?
No, because we kind of stopped thinking through on that, because I think, if I remember right, Irma, that we had, because we had that concern, and because it's like, I guess it was mostly that concern that we didn't go ahead with it. If I remember correctly.
Irma, you're muted.
Sorry, because the heat of the thieves at the time.
Yes. But I think Ken is in a different place right now as well. I hope.
Better. Yes, he's certainly better.
Okay.
So, Vicki, there's a chat from Peg.
I saw that already and I responded to her.
Right, okay.
Okay. I did see that. And so we've come to the time I allotted. I didn't want to overwhelm people and have it too long and feel like, oh, I don't want to spend an hour, but I thought a half an hour might work for people. So I hope everyone enjoyed it. If you have any comments, if you'd like to, if there's any more questions right now, I'm happy to take them.
I think it was very helpful, and thank you for the website, the EWG. And yeah, I mean, I don't use, you know, cover-ups like Febreze or anything, except maybe like once, I don't know, every 6 months or something for something really horrible. But, you know, but yeah, so that's not a big issue for me. But yeah, I do, as I'm sure Irma's told you, and you know, I mean, I'm kind of a very determined cleaner. And, you know, it does concern me about some of the products. I've become more concerned about that over time. So I'll probably maybe next week reach out to, you know, you or Irma and see about moving forward with getting some thieves that would be good for cleaning.
Great. That's good news. Okay. So if there's no other questions, I want to thank you all for being here tonight. This was a lot of fun for me, and I hope you had fun. And hope to see you again on the calls.
Okay.
Thank you, Vicki.
So much.
Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, Alan.